So it's time we start the webinar. So, so good afternoon, everyone. Uh, First, I thank you all the representatives from Indian cities and my colleagues from All India Institute of Local Self-Government and our guest from UN Habitat, guest, and also I can say uh, the 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 brain behind this initiative, Agatha Kraus from UN Habitat, and our Deputy Director General, Mr. Ravi Ranjan Guru. Thank you for joining us. I am I am honored to moderate this session on measuring quality of life in cities of India. This is a very important initiative because when we talk about livability in cities, then in many international reports, and we have seen that in some parameters, our cities are not doing well. And what are those parameters and how we can improve quality of life in our cities? So we first of all we have to understand that there are certain sectors where we are not doing good. So for this, Quality of Life initiative was launched in 2022 with support from Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And this project is being implemented by UN Habitat. About this initiative, you will get to know from our colleague Agatha Kraus. She will give details about this initiative. And All India Institute of Local Self-Government has been actively supporting local government institutions, local governments in India, in South Asia, and this is an initiative we hope that help our Indian cities to assess and measure on different parameters how our cities are performing and where we stand in quality of life parameters. There are different parameters. The details will be provided as we move forward. So before we start officially this program, I will request our Deputy Director General, Mr. Ravi Ranjan Guru, All Indian Institute of Local Self-Government, to give a welcome remarks, introductory remarks, and obviously start this webinar. Over to you, sir, for your remarks. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Abhishek. First of all, thanks to UN Habitat, Ms. Agatha, and the colleagues from UN Habitat for really initiating this such a very important, initiative for cities. So, esteemed representative from our Indian cities, my colleagues from All India Institute of Local Self-Government, and our co-organizer from UN Habitat. And today, is in this webinar, we will be discussing how we can improve the quality of life in our cities by taking the first step of measuring it. To do this, we need to understand where do we stand, where we are lacking, and then we can think of creative solution to address those issues. It is privileged that UN Habitat is engaging AIILSG for quality of life initiatives. Like Abhishek also mentioned that AIILSG has been working with the local governments since 1926. We will be celebrating our 100 years from August onwards, and it's a best time for such an initiative for the cities. I really thanks to UN Habitat for really engaging AIILSG for such a very important initiative in India, and maybe we can also help you for the South Asian countries as well. AIILSG with the 54 centers in India, working with the almost maybe 300 Indian cities on a various fronts, maybe the urban planning, development plans, solid waste management rules, creating the climate action plans. There are a lot of initiatives that AIILSG has been doing in Indian cities in an overall complete packaging. Like we do the training programs, we provide the technical consultancy to the cities, we provide the advocacy. In fact, in recent Government of India's working group, where they have formed the 6 working group for the urban renewal missions, one of the working group they have engaged AIILSG for the capacity building program. So that kind of legacy that AIILSG has been carrying with for India, and I'm sure that with UN Habitat, such initiatives will definitely give a lot of results in coming days. Now, coming back to the issues we are discussing today is at the heart of our urban future. India is home to some of the world's fastest growing cities. By 2030, over 40% of our population will live in the urban areas, contributing nearly 60% of our GDP. Cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, and the countless others are not just economic engines, they are living ecosystem where millions dreams, work, and build their lives. But this, but of course, with this rapid urbanization comes up pressing questions. Are we growing in a way that ensure a good quality of life to our citizen? This is where equality of life becomes not just a concept, but a priority. So I think, of course, we have been working on the smart city project. We have been working on the various urban renewal missions, solid waste management programs, Swachh Bharat Mission 2.0, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. But I think until unless you look into the overall the concept, including this quality of life with infrastructural development or economic development, I think the questions and the all the results, I feel that this is not going to be work out. Uh, Maybe I'll request all of you if you can keep your mic mute, Hema, Anti. Okay. So of course that's very important, aspect. And I remember when I was working in the smart city project when the government of India launched in 2000, I think around 14. That time, with the support of European Union, we started one project called Equicity, where we looked into the maybe the similar concept and tried to look into the one of the cities in Nagpur as a pilot city, where we talked about the equality first. Of course, when you keep the equality or municipal services to all the citizens, I think there is a kind of a quality of life improvements comes into the picture. So of course, the quality of life is more than a statistic. It's the air we breathe, the roads we travel, the homes we live in, and the opportunities we can access. In Indian cities, it means addressing challenges like air pollution, which is having adverse impact on our health, or traffic congestion. It is about the ensuring the affordable housing, clean water, green space, safe street, especially for the women, children, and the elderly. A city that thrives economically but leaves its people exhausted, unwell, or disconnected is a city that has lost its soul. So, like I said, that it's very important when you designing a smart city, you have to keep it the parameter of quality of life as well. Ultimately, cities is not only about the infrastructure, but it is about the citizen, it is about the people. So, of course, you have to include all those parameters, and you cannot have those parameters without really having the data strategic and everything. That, of course, I will look into that. But why data and the measuring is important for the such quality of life initiative? Without measurement, we are navigating blind. So of course, if you don't know where we are standing today, it's very difficult for us to really build a plan and go where we want to go. So data gives us the power to see where we stand and where we need to go. Imagine a city that knows exactly how many of its residents lack access to sanitation and how long its children spend commuting instead of living. Imagine a city that tracks its green cover not just for pride, but also look into that how it's accessible to all the citizens. So, of course, there are number of questions which comes, of course, when you look into the measuring the datas. And when you look into those components, of course, when you're planning and the city administration are planning, of course, they consider all those, very importantly. For organizations like AIILSG and UN Habitat, this is a familiar ground. In India, we can adopt these tools to our unique context where the tier 2 cities like Jabalpur, Jaipur, Bhopal face different pressure than metros like Chennai or Kolkata or Bombay or Delhi. By measuring quality of life, we can create the benchmarks. We empower city leaders to say, this is where we are today and this is where we want to go tomorrow. It's a accountability with, of course, with the purpose. So, of course, I've been working with the almost now 20 years in the urban space or urban cities in India. I have seen the planning and the data-driven strategic has changed a lot of initiatives in India. I have seen in 2004-5 when we visit to the urban local bodies India, they've never thought of planning a cities for a 20 years, 30 years, or 50 years. I have seen in the smart city planning, they have started looking and into the planning component. Of course, with the data, they understood a lot of challenges that they are facing today. So I think this is very important initiatives when we look into the overall holistic picture. So let me share, of course, a simple example. In Pune, efforts to measure pedestrian infrastructure led to the expansion of walkable pathways, cutting commute time and boosting the local business. In contrast, cities that don't measure these gaps risk widening them, leaving behind the poor, the marginalized, and the voiceless. Data is not just a number, it's a voice for those who need it most. To representative here today, you are the architect of India's urban futures. Measuring quality of life is not just an academic exercise, it's a commitment to your citizen. I am hopefully and of course, my colleague at AIILSG and city representative will take forward this initiative with their local corporations and draw on UN Habitat expertise to align with the global standard. UN Habitat will provide support to select few cities. In a first phase, they are already supported Bhubaneswar, I think, in India, which maybe the colleagues from UN Habitat will explain in during this webinar. My suggestion for the cities would be to invest in tools, surveys, satellite imagery, citizen feedback apps, all those that really capture the reality on the ground. And most importantly, act on what you find. A city that measures air quality but does not plant tree or curb emission is a city that has missed the point. So let's not just build cities that grow. Let's build cities that live, breathe, and thrive all for all. So once again, thanks to all of you for from AIILSG side. And really thanks to UN Habitat for engaging AIILSG for such a very important initiatives. Thanks to Abhishek and entire AIILSG team for really taking this forward. Thank you once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your remarks on this subject and highlighting cities should not miss the point. If they are measuring the quality of life and they are getting the data and they should act on it. Talking about implementation, we have Agatha Kraus from Senior Specialist Partnerships and Institutional Engagement, Quality of Life Initiative, UN Habitat. I invite Agatha for her remarks in this opening session. Agatha, over to you.
Thank you very much, Abhishek. Good afternoon, dear colleagues in India. It is my great pleasure to be here with you today. And first of all, I wanted, of course, to thank our dear partner, All India Institute of Local Self-Government, for co-organizing this webinar with us. It's been a great pleasure and a journey in our collaboration to arrive at this point. There's a lot of very, very interesting things that have been said already about the quality of life and importance of quality of life measurement. We will put a lot of substance on these claims through the presentation by myself and my colleague Yasmin in a couple of minutes' time. In the meantime, however, I wanted really to also thank our colleagues from country office of UN Habitat in India, our colleague Rita joining this webinar today, as well as, of course, All India Institute of Local Self-Government colleagues, and then again, Mr. Deputy Director, and of course, to self Abhishek Neha, and all the other colleagues who have supported organization of this webinar. And last but not least, we have a very special guest today from the important partner of the Quality of Life Initiative, the city of Bhubaneswar, Mr. Herman Kumar Prad, who is a municipal officer from Bhubaneswar Municipal Corporation, who will be talking about the quality of measurement improvement in Bhubaneswar from his experience on the ground through the experience of piloting Global Quality of Life Index. So summarizing, this session is for you, dear colleagues in governments and also in regional offices of the city network, to ask any questions about the initiative, to raise any concerns if you may have any, and also to really understand the essence of our work, because we do understand that these are mainly you, local governments representatives, that are the closest to the citizens, that are representing the governments, the government to this constituency, and that are improving access to local infrastructure and services, providing equitable access across contexts. And this is something that you're doing, and it's part of your everyday work. So I hope that you find our initiative interesting and relevant. And again, a big thank you for our colleagues in India for co-organizing this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Agatha. Now, moving forward, we have the first session. We have Agatha Crossia, of course, and we have Miss Yasmin Alwamale, Urban Planning and Knowledge Management Expert, Quality of Life Initiative, UN-Habitat, and we also have Mr. Hemant from Bhubaneswar Municipal Corporation. So in this particular session, you will be given about the introduction to the Quality of Life Initiative and its intricacies. So I hand it over to Agatha Crosse for this session. Over to you, Agatha, for your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, colleagues. I hope you can see the screen very well. So now I will introduce you to the objective of the initiative, introduce you to the essence of the initiative, that is the Quality of Life Index, that will be introduced by technical lead of the Quality of Life Initiative, my colleague Yasmin. We'll talk a little bit about the piloting process, but just a little bit, because we really want colleagues from Bhubaneswar Municipal Corporation to shed the light from their experience on the ground. So we will touch on it. More information on the piloting and the process on the ground will be shared by Bhubaneswar Municipal Corporation. And lastly, we'll discuss how to join the initiative. So, hands-on, what is the initiative all about? It is I would say, research, development, and application effort. So throughout year 2023 and 2024, we carried out the overview of quality of life indexes in cities to understand what we need to measure when it comes to quality of life in cities and how to measure it. Then we tested and rolled out index in cities, and the index been tested in 10 cities across various contexts, including in Bhubaneswar, that you know by now. Thirdly, we've developed a global network of cities, countries, colleagues in various UN-Habitat offices, colleagues from regional commissions, development partners, academia, and many, many others, with a one common purpose and goal: to emphasize that we need to measure quality of life cities in a better way than we do so by now. And we need to zoom in on it a little bit better, because throughout COVID, we have all thought about quality of life of ourselves, of our colleagues and friends and family. Now this notion of quality of life has disappeared from mainstream agendas in many places, and we think we should be brought back. And to this end, lastly, we want to establish the Quality of Life Index as a global standard for quality of life measurement endorsed by United Nations Statistical Commissions. So these are the main 4 points about the initiative. And you know very well, the initiative has been sponsored by the Quality of Life Program Center in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the very difficult global political climate, we are very, very lucky to have received this donation to be able to carry out this project. We wouldn't be able to do it without it. What else you need to remember about the initiative? First of all, also alluded by the Deputy Director General, is that we are really not only measuring the quality of life in cities in an objective manner, but also we focus on subjective experiences in cities. We all know that we have our own perceptions and experiences of life in cities, and it can be measured in various ways. And we try to highlight this in the index. For instance, we not only measure by example, we wouldn't like to measure by example only the number of crimes per 100,000 inhabitants to measure the issue of safety, but we are asking people, how safe do you feel walking in the city after dark? As such, we are really reflecting subjective experiences of people in cities. Second, we have very unique index construction, and Yasmin in a moment will explain you that in details. We have 2 layers of the index, the global and the local. The global layer of the index comprises 28 indicators that have been derived through an extensive consultation with quality of life experts all over the world to arrive with those 28 indicators that we think are universal. All should measure those indicators and those issues to be able to reflect on quality of life. That's the global layer, and the local layer reflecting cities' priorities and challenges, and Yasmin will dig deeper into that. Thirdly, we know cities are not homogeneous. Dynamics between the neighborhoods differs. Housing dynamics, questions of prices, affordability, access to green space, and many, many others. Through our initiative, we are trying to promote data disaggregation to be able to better reflect on inner city dynamics, as well as maybe also metropolitan dynamics, as some of our pilot cities and scale-up cities are measuring quality of life at pan-city level, at metropolitan level. Last but not least, we are harnessing new and innovative data, including mobile big data, social media surveys, to measure quality of life in cities. So by now, you know what are the key components of the initiative, you know where we come from, and what are the key 4 pillars that differentiate our initiative from other initiatives. And I will give the floor to my dear colleague Yasmin to tell us from technical perspective, what's the index like?
Thank you, Agatha. And hello, dear colleagues. I'm very happy to be here today in this session, and I'd be very happy to give you sort of a brief overview of the technical implementation of the Quality of Life Initiative and what measuring quality of life in your city actually constitutes. Now, when we first started to approach this initiative, our thinking was, how do we measure quality of life, not only in different contexts, but because it means different things to different people. Everyone experiences their own quality of life in a different way. So how do we set a global tool to measure quality of life that can be applied everywhere in the world? And our approach to this was through our dual layer approach. We agreed with various experts, various local governments, various national governments and statistics commissions and members of academia and urban planners that our approach would be through a global layer of indicators, measuring those indicators that are relevant and are important to measuring quality of life everywhere around the world, and having a local layer of indicators. And this is interesting because having a local layer of indicators implies that there's a co-creation process with the city. The city takes part in creating its own index and defining what's important for measuring quality of life in the city. And that's the local layer of indicators, by choosing indicators and data that matters most to the city, that are priorities of that city, reflecting the priorities in the everyday life of its residents. Next slide, please. And we structured our global layer of indicators and our local layer of indicators around the 9 domains of quality of life. We, with our experts, saw that each of these domains, ranging from basic services, governance, health, economy, environment, education, housing, social cohesion, culture and recreation, cover actually all aspects of daily life that residents in the city experience. And any indicators chosen under the global layer or the local layer actually relate to each, relate differently to each of these domains. And with the domains, we also started looking at quality of life lenses, as you'll see in the next slide. We didn't want to take the regular approach of looking at data as supply and demand when it comes to things like housing, when it comes to things like basic services, but we wanted to take a different look at how each of these actually perform in the city. So we started looking at things related to affordability, to accessibility, to equity, to choice, to safety, and see how each of these indicators perform under each of these lenses to give it sort of an evaluative perspective from the perspective of quality of life. Next slide, please. As I said, we have a global layer of indicators, and these indicators that have been developed through the various expert group meetings, through the various roundtables that we had with experts and professionals from all around the world, as well as local government. We have 28 plus one benchmark indicator that I will explain shortly, under the 9 domains of quality of life. And we also mapped how each of these indicators map against the SDGs, because we want you, by the end of the day, by implementing the quality of life initiative, to also accelerate your implementation and achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. We also mapped it to the urban monitoring framework. I'm sure many cities are already familiar with the urban monitoring framework. So our indicators actually map really well against the different objectives under the UMF framework. And we, as Agatha mentioned, we employed different methods of calculating this data. We're not only looking at administrative data as statistical data you would regularly find in cities, but we're also looking at innovative approaches to collecting data. So we're looking at mobile ping data, we're looking at satellite imagery, we're looking at spatial analysis data, but we're also looking at social media survey data. So we're asking the people in the city how they actually feel about different aspects of the city and how it affects their quality of life. We thought this is very important in capturing the true essence of what quality of life in this city. Through our benchmark indicator, as I mentioned, the life satisfaction, this is not included in the measurement. We actually look at this indicator to see how the index is actually performing by asking people how they, if taking everything their life into consideration, how satisfied are they with their life, and it helps us map the success of the index against this benchmark indicator. With our local layer of indicators, as I said, there's a level of co-creation with the city, and because it's contextual to the city, the local layer of indicators is actually developed through a 2-day workshop, in-person workshop, and I'm sure we have our great colleagues from BMC, from Bhubaneswar, to tell you more about their experience of the local layer workshop, where the city brings in different experts from the city, different stakeholders and participants to this workshop from various fields and various expertise, to discuss under each domain what are the priorities of the city, what are the challenges, what is the city doing well and want to maintain, and based on that discussion, they discuss the benefit of maintaining or addressing that priority from a quality of life perspective. And based on the first 2 sessions of priorities and benefits, they would select the best indicator related to that discussion. So not only selecting indicators that are available, it's not an easy plug and play, but rather it should be built on data that is available, but that also relates to the priorities of the city, and have a discussion about what are the sources of this data, where can we get this data, and if this data is available or not. So with these 2 layers, you have the quality of life index with a global layer and with a local layer of indicators. And with that, you really have a bespoke index that speaks only about quality of life in your city. You are unable to compare between different cities because we discourage comparison. This is not an index, a score that ranks how cities are performing. This is an index or a dashboard actually designed to see how your city is performing against itself. And to aid this implementation, we, through the experience of the piloting, we developed a set of several tools and documents. We have the Quality of Life Initiative guidelines. This is built on, as I said, the experience and the lessons learned from our pilot cities, from implementing this process with our pilot cities, and then giving you a step-by-step document detailing exactly how you reach your quality of life index in your city, from the very moment you are interested in joining, all the way to having this index and managing it to inform policy and evidence-based decision making. Next slide. Next slide, please. And with together with the guidelines that we provide, that, as I said, as you see here, this roadmap provide you a step-by-step guidance on how to implement the project successfully. We also offer for our scale-up cities ongoing support, so we don't just hand you the document and leave you alone, but we rather offer ongoing technical support from our side as UN-Habitat Quality of Life team, through the webinars we host, through the meetings, through the various tools available through the platform and elsewhere that really guide every step of the implementation. I think I'll stop here, Nagata. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Yasmin. As always, excellent technical review of our process. Dear colleagues, I hope by now you gather how straightforward and easy process of index implementation we have in place, and that you feel confident that we are able to support that process. So as mentioned, we are working with local governments in co-creation process to develop the index, and 10 cities played particularly important role in that context. This was Vancouver in Canada, Querétaro in Mexico, Medina in Saudi Arabia, Niš in Serbia, Logan in Australia. These cities have piloted the index at the beginning of 2024 and finished around the summer of 2024. And then, not least, our dear colleagues in Bhubaneswar in India, as well as Quito in Ecuador, Kampala in Uganda, Udantani in Thailand, and Punawea in Tahiti, that have concluded piloting the index as well, giving us great results that allowed us to refine the index composition as well as develop guidelines materials. And of course, Bhubaneswar will soon shed the light on the experience of the city in developing the index. Now, we have moved on from that point. We are not having 10 cities working with us, but 62 cities in 35 countries all over the world are working with us, from Latin America to the cities in Australia. The big ones, the ones that you might have heard, of course, Madrid in Spain, Barcelona in Spain, Manchester in the UK, Braga in Portugal, Cali in Colombia, Buenos Aires in Argentina, San Jose in Costa Rica, Durban in South Africa, Mombasa in Kenya, as well as several cities in Japan, Seoul in Korea, Bishkek in Kyrgyzstan, and many, many other cities. And we are very delighted to have this movement. And we would like to invite you, our dear colleagues in India, to join the initiative and to implement the index. What we offer in summary, first of all, access to this great innovative tool to measure quality of life in cities in a comprehensive way. So that provides you a snapshot and overview of where the strengths of your quality of life in the city lay and where the areas for improvement are. The second, Yasmin is there. She's great, providing technical guidelines and checking opportunities for you. We are organizing bi-weekly webinars of 90 minutes every 2 weeks. 90 minutes is for you only to ask questions about the initiative, the index, how to move on with your technical process. We also have the guidelines materials available in English. So you get all the opportunities that you have to deploy technical process in a seamless manner. We also would like to extend to you a support, an offer of support for the global layer data collection. As you know, we have 28 indicators under the global layer of the index. We are in a position to sponsor data collection for 22 out of 28 indicators for selected cities. So please raise your interest, come back to us bilaterally. It's very, very important that you write us this email if you're interested in sponsorship, and sign the letter of expression of interest, which I will also mention in a moment. And of course, what else you will get? You will get this innovative data about your city if you're part of the sponsorship, satellite, mobile ping data. Especially, this is traditionally data that you don't have, that we will purchase for you as part of our sponsorship. Of course, be it amongst yourself, you're part of this great community coordinated by All India Institute of Local Self-Governments. On our side, you will have access to other cities all over the world. We already have experiences of sittings of Buenos Aires in Argentina, learning from Logan in Australia. as well as cities in Latin America learning from each other. There is a lot of potential to strengthen this collaboration, and we are there as your support and means. We organize events like this online and in person. Most notably, there will be a global conference, second global conference at the end of the year, organized by UN-Habitat and Quality of Life Initiative, Quality of Life program, and you would be invited to that event as well. We have the platform on quality of life, where you will have your profile, where you will have an opportunity to display your best practices. You will be part of a work process, which is currently under development, bear with us, and many, many others. And what you need to do, first of all, especially if you want to benefit from sponsorship, contact us bilaterally. I will share with you the email in the slide or in the chat. Write us an email that you're interested in the initiative, sign the letter of expression of interest. We have a template of this letter. I'm also happy to share it with you over email, which basically says that you're interested to join the initiative, develop the index, and upload data on the Quality of Life platform. This letter is not legally binding, but allows us to secure a sponsorship for the global layer indicators, 22 out of 28, as I mentioned. Then we will sign the MOU. This is already legally binding agreement. So this is cooperation agreement between us and you. On the quality of life measurement, we also have a template ready. And of course, as Yasmin mentioned, you need to do the technical work, follow the guidelines, organize the workshop to identify local layer indicators and to collect data on it. The goal of the workshop is to identify your city's quality of life priorities and to derive data of at least 10 local layer indicators. 10. It's very, very few, and I'm sure many of you already have 10 quality of life indicators that you would like to put forward for the index. And then, of course, collect indicators, the remaining 6 indicators of the global layer, if you're part of the sponsorship, as well as to collect, compute, and upload the data for the global layer and the local layer for the platform, on the platform. And if you are able to be very swift, you will be able to access this year a quality of life award process, but you would need to conclude technical work by 2025. So if you have phones with you, you can sign up to the initiative now, and if not later, you can write us email bilaterally. So these are our contact details. My contact details is second. I am usually a interface, your primary point of contact, especially at the early stages of collaboration. I work with all cities that have joined, now 62 cities that have joined the initiative. I'll be able to answer any questions that you may have, and if not myself, then my colleagues will come back to you. And of course, Yasmin is there, Mariah is there, and my dear colleague Pauline as well, who has provided a tremendous support to organize this event, who is also available online, who you will also meet throughout the process. And I will stop here. And before we move on to the question, I'll just give the floor to our colleagues in All India Institute of Local Self-Government, and of course to dear city of Bhubaneswar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Agatha. Now I will request, because as per the agenda, we have representative from Bhubaneswar, Mr. Hemanta, to share his experience about this initiative. How did they, and what was the outcome of the exercise they have done? Over to you, Mr. Hemanta.
Good afternoon. This is Hemant from Bhubaneswar Municipal Corporation. Okay, I am truly excited and giving me an opportunity to present before you. Thank you. Okay. BMC highly appreciate engagement of quality of life and UN Habitat, and also thankful for the Bhubaneswar to be chosen as a pilot city for this initiative. Okay. Bhubaneswar is the capital city, and it is also known as Temple City, and with an around of population of 13 lakhs and covers around geographical area of 186 square kilometer, with 67 wards. BMC is the primary ULB which governs the city of Bhubaneswar. It is also known as Temple City. This is our journey. First part is in June 2024. Signing of LOI was signed with United Habitat, and on June 24, and in the same month, pilot city workshop was conducted by BMC, where local indicators for the city were chosen. Then moving towards the data collection part was started around in August 2024. Okay, after data collection, I will cover another in slide details about the data collection. In September 2024, digital citizen survey was
Sorry,
conducted.
sir, just a second. Are you trying to share the PowerPoint presentation?
This is
PPT?
PowerPoint.
It is not shared actually.
Okay.
Can you just share? Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
You can use the share tab at the bottom, green. Yeah.
Visible?
It will come, I think.
Is it visible?
It's
not visible.
Not visible yet. Neha, can you share that? I think he has shared in the.
You can maybe retry sharing it.
Okay. Is it visible now?
No, not yet.
No. So you just I will try to share from my request.
Okay.
I think Sanjay, can you allow me to share the screen? Yes. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Should I start from first slide? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, sir.
Then. Okay. So our journey, starting with our journey, LOI was signed in June 2024, and Bhubaneswar city was chosen as a pilot city in the same June 2024. Then in August, we proceed towards data collection part, and which we'll describe in the next slide. And in September 2024, digital citizen survey was conducted. And coming to this slide, workshop prior to this, that workshop is conducted. Workshop is conducted with different levels of government and academic institutions, civil societies, and other special interest groups like State Transport Agency, Commerce and Transport Department, IMD, and Directorate of Economic and Statistics, State Pollution Control Board, BDA, Xavier University, KIT University, Utkal University, and UNICEF. Next, as we can see here, we have basic sectors like basic service and mobility, culture and recreation department, economic, education sector, environment sector, governance, health, well-being sector, housing, and social cohesion section. Okay, next, data collection part includes various government department like Housing and Urban Development Department, Department of Tourism, Skill Development and Technical Education Department, Department of Revenue and Disaster Management, Department of Family and Welfare, Department of Home. then finally we move to citizen survey department. In citizen survey, we covered around all 67 wards in BMC, and we have collected more than 4,000 responses were generated from this citizen survey of different age groups. Okay, Bhubaneswar is being emerging in India as a lot of transformation has taken in public transport, traffic management system, and slum development and development in public spaces. So, quality of life from UN-Habitat was crucial in the city of Bhubaneswar to meet essential citizen standards and close gaps, fractions, responses, and improving overall development of the city. Our journey is so far very smooth, motivating for implementing quality of life indexes and in pilot city in Bhubaneswar Municipal Corporation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hemanta, for the presentation and taking us through your journey in Quality of Life Initiative. Now I will open the floor for questions if anyone has any question. Of course, maybe I will request city representatives, if they have any questions, please raise your hand and then ask your question. So just because we are just also talking about many Indian cities which already our team has approached. So I will request there is some suggestions that we have given that these cities could be interested from AIILSG side recommendation, that is Rajkot, Nasik, Tirupati, Bhopal, Indore, Kochi, Thiruvananthapuram, Panaji, Raulkela, Shimla, and Dehradun. So these are the 11 cities that we have suggested. More cities are also welcome, but I think every year they have limitation of sponsoring only a few cities. So I will request all these cities, if they want to apply, there are 5 sponsorship available under this program. So you can approach the email ID provided by Agatha or the QR code she has shown. So, but before that, if you have any query, any question regarding this initiative, what are the benefits and anything that you want to ask, please go ahead. I think our presentation was crystal clear, but so no one has any question. But I have certain questions from my side. I will request if Mr. Hemanta can just tell us what has been the outcome of this initiative, how it has helped you in creating new projects and programs for citizens so that their quality of life can be improved based on the data you collected, the survey you did, using the tools provided by UN-Habitat initiative. Mr. Hemanta.
Thank you. This initiative provides transformation in our traffic management system, slum development, and development of public spaces, how to use open free spaces for citizens. These are the transformations.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hemanta.
Hemanta, don't you think some of the indicators are the part of the smart city project with the Bhubaneswar also the smart city? So
Yeah.
So you may get the funding from the smart city project also in this project.
Yes.
Any change in the government focused area after the change of guard in the Odisha?
Changing of government.
Yeah. Because governance is very important to push up the agenda of the reforms.
I think he's a government employee. He will not prefer to answer this question.
Now we are trying to make Bhubaneswar is green city mission. Bhubaneswar city is green city. We are in pipeline of many projects such as EV charging station for public uses and solar trees for street lights. We are using solar energy.
Hemantaji, I heard that Bhubaneswar is going to issue the bond, municipal bond for the infrastructure development. It is true? Green bond, basically.
I don't
Because
have
government of
idea.
India, no idea. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have with us our many cities which we have suggested. So we have from Trivandrum, we have Sunny Georgie. So if you have any question, because we are thinking that Trivandrum can be a good candidate for this initiative, because they are already doing a lot of work in improving the quality of life for people in Trivandrum. And they have, I think, recently won an award for sustainability. Sunny Georgie, over to you.
Not only Trivandrum, Cochin is also interested city. They have a good initiative for waste management and governance aspects. So we are looking for this opportunity. Okay, we will cooperate and we are happy to associate. But coming to the data and its collection, you may explain a little bit in detail that may be useful for comparing the cities. See,
Agatha, yeah, please go ahead. Sorry, I thought you completed. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. In the case of this is a period of a lot of indicators and all that. See, one of the earlier initiative was the Human Development Index by the UN that we began analyzing the quality of life. Education, health, and minimum quantity of income was the basis. Now it is extended to all the things and sustainable development goals. And everybody is linking everything with the SDGs and all that. And I understand that this also linked to that. Yeah. One of the major issue I understand is that it's a comparability, because the quality of life, how people live or how well people being if it is the question, it is not limited to the facilities available. How people are accessible to the available facilities, whether the observed facilities are universally applicable to every citizen in that the city. So basically standardization. Certain things we are not able to collect directly, but certain things we can collect with the modern instruments and all that. Say for example, air pollution, sound pollution. All these indicators can be we can have direct collection with small instruments with exact data. So it's a good initiative, but social aspect is also the most important thing because the safety and all these things are included, and the freedom and the night life, all these things are important. And I think the indexes suggested are good and reasonably good. And one of the major difficulty, I think, in previous 10 to 20 years ago, every data, although the computer availability is limited, but the data was published whatever is available. Now it is not easy to access official data because nobody is interested to share the data. So all these things are, especially all these geographical related things, are limited and controlled by the organizations. So we have to be careful in getting if such a data available, but not accessible to everybody. So you have to move. But anyway, we can approach the people. We can have direct response from the people. Nothing is prohibited, and that will be the most reliable data. Thank you.
Thank you. Agatha, do you want to answer this question about data collection and the challenges?
I will let Yasmin comment on the data collection specifically. On my side, just wanted to clarify and provide additional information about the sponsorship. I would like to ask the cities to come back to us by 14th, by the following Monday, with initial expression of interest. It's essential that it's done in writing. To myself, you have my email address with a copy to my colleague Pauline. I will also provide, or Pauline, you can provide your email address in chat. It is important because we are also launching Global Call for Cities to join the initiative, and the sponsorship will be offered for competition between the cities. So the sooner we know whether you're joining, the better it is. So please do join us. And on the technical side, Yasmin, please don't hesitate to comment on data collection. How does it look like based on your experience? Thank you.
Thank you, Agatha. Yeah, and I'm very happy to respond to Mr. Sunny George. Your questions are definitely spot on. We are aware of the different capacities different cities have, especially in accessing a lot of what is known as statistical data. And I'm sure Bhubaneswar, also Mr. Hemanta can comment on that. We actually have multiple ways in which we can navigate the issue of data collection. First and foremost, as you said, this is a quality of life initiative, so you have to ask the people how they feel about different things in the city. And this is exactly why we have a survey as part of our global layer of indicators where we ask the people. And I want to here highlight the great response we got from Bhubaneswar. Bhubaneswar not only used the online survey, they also went into the field and asked the people in the street, and they were actually the top city in collecting responses. We have actually collected close to 18,000 responses in less than 2 weeks. No other city in our pilot cities was able to collect 18,000 responses. And the sample is very representative. We collected responses from different neighborhoods, different age groups, different genders about their experience. And I want to say it just proved that quality of life in Bhubaneswar overall is doing great. People in Bhubaneswar are actually very happy with different things. And we got really positive feedback, and we integrated that directly into the index. Now, how we tackle issues in relation to limited data availability, a lot of cities added questions to the survey. So we have a standardized survey, we have a set guide on how this survey is run, but we also invite cities through their local layer to add questions relevant to the priorities in the city that they feel are not captured with administrative data. Global layer of indicators, as Agatha noted, we are responsible for collecting mobile ping data, for collecting satellite imagery data. The data we ask cities for that is often quite available, and it's often reported even to international organizations, is often data that for example, intentional homicide rate, education completion, poverty, unemployment. This is very standard data that is often available at city level, sometimes even through the official published surveys that you find through either the national statistics or the local statistics. And Bhubaneswar also can speak to that. They successfully were able to provide that administrative data. Through our webinars, we actually touch on different topics related to difficulties with obtaining data. We understand that a lot of administrative and bureaucratic delays can happen. We offer guidance on how to navigate that. We offer different guidance on how to collect data. And by the end of the day, UN-Habitat is the main custodian for all data related to urban. So we actually have a lot of resources through the UN-Habitat website, especially metadata documents on how to collect various data, including GIS, including satellite mapping. So you have a very rich base on things you can navigate. And since you referenced previous index, the Human Development Index, some cities already have done the voluntary local reviews, some cities have done the City Prosperity Index. We actually don't want you to repeat the effort. If you're a city that has previously done and implemented an index and collected data that is recent, under any of these existing UN-Habitat or other initiatives, we actually welcome extracting that data if it aligns with the city's priorities. So we don't want to put a lot of effort on the city. The local layer, we don't want a lot of indicators from you. We're asking for a minimum of 10 indicators. So that's 1 to 2 indicators at a maximum 18 indicators to keep it manageable and to make sure that you have the data. And of course, there's always ways in which we can navigate that, as I said, through our webinars, through reaching out to us directly. And I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
But yes, Yashvik, don't you think it is good actually Human Development Index? What is the departure from the Human Development Index to the in the today's context? The Healthy City Project also developed some indicators earlier. So Healthy City Project, Human Development Index, and now that in the India we have advantage of this SDG goals are there, service level benchmarks are there. So the government data is available. It can be cross-checked with the people perception data, people survey data. So I think it
Exactly.
will provide the good results.
Exactly, that is spot on. And actually, I'll mention one thing that is still under development. We're also building a menu of local indicators. So we're providing further support for cities to build their local layer of indicators. And one of those is, of course, the healthy cities. So you can tailor your local layer to your priority and to the data that you have available. So build on the indexes that you've already worked on, build on the data that you've already collected, especially if it covers recent years. And you can definitely, through analysis, cross-check that with the perception, with the social media survey and perception data that can be part of the global layer and the local layer as well.
Thank you, Yasmin.
Good afternoon, Abhishek.
Yeah.
May I talk
Please,
about
please,
Bhubaneswar?
please. Sure, please.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Just I want to answer Mukesh sir's question that what is the difference now? The thing is that All India Institute is preparing comprehensive development plan for extended area of Bhubaneswar. 364 villages will be added. And also for Cuttack, where 145 villages will be added. And we are preparing master plan for both the cities. After this government shown in, now they have we had suggested that in between some villages are left out, and now it is approved that Cuttack and Bhubaneswar city will join. In between villages will be added to the comprehensive development plan, and for betterment of these two cities, a big ring road is passing outside both the cities. That is one NS. So in future, planning is done such a way that these two cities will be very good livable cities.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think this gives how the quality of life in the city through infrastructure development and other initiatives are being improved. Now, anyone from Gujarat or Maharashtra, they want to ask anything? From Gujarat and Maharashtra? Because we have suggested some of the cities, even including Nasik, and is also suggested for this initiative, because we thought that we can have good representation from Maharashtra and Gujarat. Rajkot is also suggested. And so if you have any question regarding this initiative, how to proceed, please do ask. Okay. I think everything is clear, so there are no questions. And even if there are any questions, you can reach out to AIILSG team, Neha and myself. So we can direct your questions to Agatha and Pauline, maybe, and then we can answer your queries. For now, I would request now for summary, I will request Agatha Kraus for this, and I will request our Deputy Director General, Ravi Ranjan Guru, for this session. So first, I will request Agatha and then I will hand it over to our Deputy Director General. Agatha, over to you for your summary and next steps.
Thank you very much, Abhishek. And I think the webinar was excellent, was very clear in terms of that was what you were understanding as a quality of life initiative and the importance of measuring and improving. And I really appreciate the interventions of our colleagues in Bhubaneswar on the experience in the process. Please don't hesitate to reach out to Bhubaneswar also if you have any questions on our side. It is I, as well as my colleague Pauline, remain at your disposal. I flagged especially in the chat that it would be lovely that we hear from you with initial interest by 14th of April inclusive. If you can by then send the letter of expression of interest, that would be lovely. If not, an initial email stating your interest would do, and we can then establish a deadline for the letter of expression of interest. We would be delighted to have more cities from India joining the initiative and measuring quality of life. Our experience is one and only, cities do it. So please don't hesitate to bring already existing efforts on smart sustainable cities and any other data generation efforts under this initiative. This initiative is flexible enough to accommodate the efforts that you have made already to collect data on quality of life, meaning climate, meaning economy, meaning transportation, waste, and many, many others. So please consider it as a flexible framework that is adapted to your needs and interests. And you have a great team here. I'm not shy to say that. My colleagues are fabulous, excellent experts, very approachable. So rest assured you will be accompanied throughout the initiative and the course of implementation of the index in this effort. I will also, after the remarks of Deputy Director of All India Institute of Local Self-Governments, I would like to ask everyone to switch on the cameras if possible at all to make a group photo. We would be delighted to post this photo on social media. Thank you.
So now, before I invite Deputy Director General, I will request that we will have photograph first and then his remarks so that because he can officially close this webinar. So first, I request everyone to please switch on your camera so that we can take photograph. Everyone,
Thank you,
please.
Abhishek. Can you take a photo maybe, or we can do it on our side? How would you prefer?
I think you will do, or we will also do.
Okay.
Which one is better? We will use it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, both of us.
Madam, camera on.
Okay.
All right, dear colleagues. If that's okay, I will do on one. I will do 3, 2, 1. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. And let's do another one. All right, 3, 2, and 1. And thank you very much. Thank you, much appreciated.
Thank you, Abhishek, and thank you, Agatha, for such a wonderful webinar today. And I am sure that all of us must have got a lot of insight, knowledge about the entire quality of life initiatives. And thanks to our entire UN-Habitat colleagues as well for presenting such a way that it's really, we didn't have much questions to ask you as a clarification. So it was really crystal and clear. I on behalf of AIILSG, I can assure you that I'm sure that there will be a lot of cities will join these initiatives, and we will definitely try our level best to include more and more cities from India. Bhubaneswar is really a good example for all of us, and I think they've been doing excellently well. Bhubaneswar always a progressive cities, and I think they are always ahead in most of the new initiatives. So thanks once again. Congratulations to Bhubaneswar city for giving us the kind of a model for us. From AIILSG side, of course, we are spread out across India. So we will try to include one cities from each region, at least for this time. And we have the colleagues across India who have joined today. And I'm sure that we'll be working very closely on this initiative. Second, of course, this is very important initiatives, like I mentioned during my opening remarks as well. Government of India has a lot of priorities on the urban renewals missions and the urban development areas. They have formed the working groups as well. So I'm sure that these initiatives, if we in line with the Government of India's initiatives, that will give a lot of impact and a lot of support system to the cities. My colleague Abhishek and entire urban update teams, they keep coming out. You know that we have a monthly magazine called Urban Update, which covers the entire urban news in India, and the articles and the some kind of analysis as well. And I'm sure that we will be covering that quality of life initiatives in one of our subscriptions, one of the coming issues as well, where we talk about that how it's really helped the other part of the world cities as well as India, Bhubaneswar as an example. So once again, thanks all of you for joining today, and especially thanks to UN-Habitat and colleagues Agatha and all of you for once again including us for these initiatives. And I assure you from our side, on behalf of AIILSG, we'll be definitely working on these programs, and we'll definitely try to as much as possible. Thank you once again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Agatha. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And we officially close this webinar now. Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
can
Thank you, sir.
log out.
Thank you very much, dear colleagues. Have a great day. Bye-bye.